This is The Wizard, WZRD Chicago, 88.3 FM. We have with us today at Wizard Natalia Borowska, a peer mentor in the first year experience peer mentor program. How are you today, Natalia?
I'm good. Good morning.
Good morning. We're so glad to have you here to tell us a little bit about the first year experience program. Give us a short description of the first year experience peer mentor program and your responsibilities in the program.
So the first year experience mentor program, so it is a program specifically for freshman students. Incoming freshmen, they are, for their first semester at Northeastern, they are given a wide variety of classes to choose from that are specifically from the FYE program. So the way those classes are constructed, they are specifically for freshman students. You know, the professors, they recognize that these are all freshman students, so it's a way to kind of, the professors, they integrate college readiness things into the course's curriculum, and so it's to kind of make their transition from high school to college a little bit easier.
Could you tell us just, if you remember, some of the classes that are offered? Because I was an orientation leader, and I saw that there were a lot of classes that try to appeal to different interests.
Yeah. So the FYE program, we have courses from basically almost all majors, all areas. When I was a freshman, I took Business Law 109, which is professionalism and law of Chicago, and a lot of these classes are actually, they're Chicago focused, right? So there's art in Chicago, there's dance of Chicago, there will be, you know, some type of like business courses for Chicago. I know there's one that's Chicago Rocks, for example, so that's a geology class, and they explore Chicago, so there's a wide variety for all students.
And the students could choose a course that does not pertain to their major because they're still testing out the waters at the time.
Exactly, especially your freshman year. For those who still aren't sure of what they might want to major in, this gives them the chance to kind of dabble in something that they might have not taken a class before, you know.
So how did you first learn about the first year experience peer mentor program, and what convinced you to apply?
Well, I came to Northeastern as a freshman, so my first experience with FYE was in my actual FYE course. Like I said, it was B-Law. I'm a first-gen student, right? So the class really helped me transition from high school to college, you know, because I had nobody to really explain to me what a college credit is or how to declare a major, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So my mentor, who was assigned, you know, with that FYE class, she really helped me with the transition. And then through some of my campus connections, I learned about the opportunity to apply, you know, since I successfully completed my freshman year, and I applied and I got the job as a FYE mentor, and I've been loving it ever since.
Congratulations. When did you learn about it? In the class, or did you hear about it in high school even?
For me, I learned about it, I want to say, during my freshman orientation. When I came in to apply or to register for classes and to make my schedule with my advisor told me about FYE courses. She gave me the list, and gave me a description of each course, and so I picked B-Law, and then once I was in the classroom, that's when the professor really talked to us about what the program is, like what does it do for us as students.
All freshmen that are in FYE classes, they have a peer mentor?
Yes, there is one mentor assigned for each FYE course. There's also mentors assigned for success programs such as Practicante and Project Success.
There are mentors assigned to all those too, right?
Yes.
All those students.
Yes.
Nice. But they're different from FYE mentors. They're in a different program?
They are still through FYE, but they are more, they follow more of like each individual success program's ways of doing things, you know. They have their own.
How many fellow FYE peer mentors do you have, and how do you work together with them?
So we have around 35. We're actually still in the hiring process for hiring the new mentors of the fall semester. The thing I love about FYE is that we're a very close-knit family, so we have regular meetings that are scheduled, you know, so we all get together to kind of discuss the plans, you know, for the semester. What could we do to, you know, better the freshman experience for our students, and we work together to create a bunch of workshops for freshmen, hosting events for freshman students to kind of, for all of us to get to know each other.
How often do you have meetings? And do you, if something comes up that an issue that you need to resolve, did that ever happen so that you could problem solve at one of those meetings?
Well, we meet a lot, so it depends because you're also assigned different areas of the FYE program. So it depends what kind of area you're working on, but at least several times a week you meet with each other to discuss plans.
Okay, nice. What about the areas? What kind of how are the areas different from each other?
Well, so there are. So when you're working with the FYE program, you could be signed, for example, to work on the social media pages. Last spring semester, in the spring semester, we started a new thing called Campus Partnership. So mostly every mentor was assigned another department with Northeastern, so that the mentor could kind of represent freshmen in that department and kind of address any issues that freshmen might have, and schedule different various events that might interest freshman students.
So you helped promote different departments then in.
Yes, yeah, and then kind of, like represent the freshman students in those departments. So I know that FYE had a few mentors working with student leadership development, or like in in the Pedroso Center, and
So-
then in the student science engagement center as well. There's a couple.
So for science engagement, peer mentors help the students get more involved in STEM, and then for SLD to get more involved in student organizations?
Yeah, for those mentors, yeah, they would host different events that were related to the department, but that would specifically interest freshman students, reaching out to freshman students. They would talk to, since it's, for example, right, the science engagement, they would talk to students who are science majors, talking to them if they're interested in joining or becoming more involved within the department.
What kind of opportunities are available for freshmen in, such as the science department?
I didn't work with the science department.
Oh, okay.
I know for sure that they did host a couple of events, especially at the end of the year, kind of celebrating, wrapping up the end of the year for the students. But I'm not entirely sure. I wasn't involved with that department.
Which one were you involved in then?
Last semester, I was actually part of the FYE administration team.
Oh.
So I worked, for example, we had a bunch of different projects we worked on. My specific project last semester was creating the social media pages for the FYE program. So we're on Instagram at NEIU FYE, and then we're also on Facebook, NEIU First Year Experience.
Nice. How often do you post?
We tried it a couple times a week.
Nice.
Yeah, and then we tried to make our posts specific for freshman students. We're going to have later, once the semester starts, we're going to have a bunch of different giveaways for freshman students, just to promote student engagement.
Is it a page or is it a group?
It is a page. Both the Facebook and the Instagram is a page, so all you have to do is just follow us, and then you'll be automatically given, all our content.
I'll make sure that I'll like you later.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. What leadership skills have you acquired as a result of serving as an FYE peer mentor?
Well, I'm actually really excited because this, for the fall semester, I will be a FYE lead peer mentor, so I am given a little bit more responsibility. The FYE program definitely taught me how to work much better with a large group of people, since we have 35 students, and working on a single project. It really helped me learn how to work with a large group of people and kind of make sure that everybody's wants are met, with their different ideas, that everybody's heard, and that we could all integrate everybody's ideas into, the project that we're working on.
How engaged are the freshmen? We found that it's kind of hard to engage freshmen. What is the percentage of freshmen that are engaged, and what do you do to try to engage those that are less engaged?
Yeah, I mean, I know even from personal experience as a freshman, it could be very intimidating or scary, going from high school to a big university, with thousands of students. So we really try to break that shell in students, right? Because we acknowledge that most of the time it's just kind of, being uncomfortable or not being familiar with the environment. So I think that's really important. I know with my students last semester, that was something that I really tried to work on, kind of breaking their shell and getting to know them more, so that I could connect them with the right campus involvement. You know, are they interested in joining Greek life, or maybe, you know, next semester joining the FYE program, or, you know, joining student government association. Like it's I think it's really up to just kind of like making that personal connection with students to kind of have them open up to you so that you could direct them to the right area on campus.
Was it you alone in one class, or did you have a partner peer mentor?
I had, yeah, it was just me for one section of BLA, but there were 3 sections, so I had 2 other mentors who had their own sections. So we did work together to create different study sessions, because it was all the same professor, so all exams were scheduled at the same time, so we were able to work all together. But I had my own cohort of about 20 students.
For basically the whole class, that section was under your care.
Yeah. So they were assigned to meet with me a couple times throughout the semester. You know, they knew to go to me if they had any issues or questions that they, you know, couldn't go to their advisor or whoever for.
So you meet somewhere at school, like at a study space or in a library to
Yeah,
talk?
so we're actually, we're based in the Learning Success Center on the 4th floor of the main campus library.
What are your favorite tasks in your work as an FYE peer mentor?
I love working with the freshman students. It wasn't that long ago that I was a freshman, so I remember very clearly how scared I was, you know, coming into Northeastern. So I really love working with the students and kind of connecting with them on a personal note, and, like, you know, getting to know them and their background, and kind of seeing how I could help them to make their experience at Northeastern better.
What was the make and break for you? Because at first you were scared and now you're not scared at all. So it was probably the work of your FYE peer mentor.
Right.
And then what did that person do to help you to help break your shell?
For me, it was sometime throughout my freshman year, I want to say I learned the importance of putting myself out there and making connections on campus and getting involved. Because once I, you know, started to meet more students and they connected me with different, you know, campus partnerships and all that, I started to feel a lot more comfortable at Northeastern and kind of found my spot, you know, where I felt belonging. So I thought that was really important to me in my college experience, so I want to, like, transmit that into other students, you know, kind of finding their thing at Northeastern.
So I guess what you're saying is that once you found your own important link in among all the links, and then you were really happy and wanted to
Right,
work on
exactly,
that.
because Northeastern has so many different things you could join, you know, from Greek life to the radio to student government, you know, there's everything for anybody. You just have to find it, you know.
What are your most challenging tasks, and how have you addressed those challenges?
You know, there are, sometimes it is a little bit, some students are harder than others to kind of break that shell I was talking about earlier. I just always try to remain persistent and not give up, because, you know, you never know what freshman students, like, what backgrounds are coming from. You know, they have, a lot of students have other stuff going on in their personal life that, you know, that you might not know of, so you can't take anything personally, and just really trying to be persistent and not giving up on the freshman students.
And you have to learn to give them some space too when maybe they
Yeah.
don't want to discuss something that's in their
Right,
personal
right.
life.
Because there, you know, some students you'll have who don't want to come into class, who kind of, you know, mid-semester decide that maybe college isn't for them, you know. So it's really important to kind of just connect with them and kind of see what's going on, and try to encourage them as much as possible to, you know, continue at Northeastern.
So you're allowed to contact them if they seem to drop out or not go to class.
Well, we have their emails, like, via email. You know, yeah, we get in contact with them outside from the classroom. And then professors too, they try to get in contact with those students to kind of see what's going on, you know, if there's something I could, or that they could do, if they need to be partnered with some type of resource on campus, because that's another thing. Sometimes students have an issue that they might not realize that Northeastern can help them with, you know. So that's also my role, right? Like, if they tell me that they have a certain issue, well, here, you know, Northeastern has this opportunity that they could combat that issue for you or help you with that, you know.
Right.
And that might help them tremendously in terms of finishing that semester or that year, you know.
Like the counseling department or
Yeah, exactly.
disability
Right.
services.
Yeah.
So did you ever have the opportunity to help students in that way, to connect them with the resources that they need?
Yeah. So in those meetings that we have to have with the freshmen, like, we really focus on getting to know them and kind of figuring out, oh, like, you know, are you a commuter? Is there, you know, trying to figure out what resources we should let them know about. in case they might need it, or if if they tell you an issue right away, we let them know like what resources there are. But yeah, that's super important.
Mm-hmm. How have you applied what you learned as an FYE peer mentor to your other work?
Well, starting in the fall semester, I'm actually going to be a senator in Student Government Association. So in my campaign, I really promoted the idea that me as a freshman mentor, I get this knowledge and exposure to freshman students and what their concerns are, that I will be able to represent them, in SGA and kind of have their issues be addressed.
Mm-hmm. And you've already found some issues that the freshmen are concerned about that you'll be working on?
Yeah, definitely.
Just give us like one or two.
Well, I hear a lot, not even just from freshman students, but mostly from freshman students, that they find it a little bit difficult to it takes some time for them to find their thing at Northeastern, like we talked about, right? So, what can Northeastern do to implement certain programs or certain things into their orientation, for example, right, to kind of let students know more about the various student organizations that we have on campus. So that's an example of one.
Mm-hmm. Right. What skills do your freshman mentees gain from the FYE Peer Mentor Program, would you say?
They learn a lot, freshmen gain a lot of skills in self-advocacy. Once they are done with their FYE course, we hope that they are more comfortable at Northeastern and are more able and knowledgeable how to self-advocate for themselves. If they have an issue, where to go, or kind of, stand up for themselves and represent themselves in a better way. We also teach a lot of college readiness skills, both in the classroom and FYE, and then also like in the different workshops that we host as mentors, or
You
the
mean
meetings
like
that we
such
have
as
with our freshman students.
like time management?
Right,
something
time
like that?
management, study skills, campus involvement, campus partnership, the importance of all that.
How do you see your mentees improve at the end of the course? Do they seem more confident?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of them, they're more confident. They, feel like they are more comfortable at Northeastern, and that they, found their belonging per se.
Do any of the students contact you after the class if they have questions?
Yeah, they do, definitely. A couple of students I was able to refer to try to join the FYE program if they're interested, because I saw them as, they successfully completed their FYE program in their freshman year, so I encouraged them to join the FYE program because I think that they could really benefit from the program and that the program could really benefit from them being in it.
Mm-hmm. Do you know if any of them actually took you up on it and applied?
Yes, a couple of them applied.
Oh, good. And they got accepted, do you know?
No, we're still actually in the middle of the hiring process.
If students are interested in becoming a peer mentor, are they still able to apply now?
Unfortunately, no. The application was due just last Friday, I want to say, sometime last week, and then interviews are being held next week.
Do you still remember what time the application opens and then what time it closes, so that if people are interested, then they could apply next year?
Yeah, so we, at the end of the spring semester, we send out applications, and then we hire yearly, so we don't hire, unfortunately, for like new, between fall and spring, we hire for the whole year. So spring is when we send out, at the end of spring is when we send out applications. They're usually not due until mid-June, early June. And then we do interviews a couple weeks after that application is due.
Are they sent out via targeted announcements? Through our email to all students receive that application?
I'm not entirely sure how they sent those out. That's above how they what platform they used to send them out. I know as a freshman mentor, I had the opportunity to refer students.
How long are freshman mentors, FYE peer mentors, allowed to serve as a mentor?
So there's actually no limit.
No limit?
No, they could work in the FYE program for as long as they like.
Can you suggest any improvements to the FYE program based on your experience serving the freshmen?
Well, I heard from many freshman students that they struggle with maybe with maybe knowing exactly what the program is until the end of their semester, So I think it's really important for the FYE program to address their goals with the students right away, and so that the
Right.
students know from the first day of class, like what they're in there for and what they'll learn by the end of the semester, you know, and what that FYE program, what kind of opportunities the FYE programs gives them.
Do you think it would help if some of those goals are given to the students at orientation, or is that too much for
I
them?
think it's really important to address it early.
Mhm. How can high school students, freshmen, and their parents learn more about NEIU's first year experience peer mentor program?
So I highly encourage to follow our Facebook and Instagram. Again, the Instagram is at NEIU FYE, and then the Facebook is the NEIU First Year Experience. There will be posting a bunch of important days for freshman students, a bunch of FYE content, pictures from orientations, and stuff like that.
Well, try to post about the goals and also.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Natalia Borowska, first year experience peer mentor of NEIU's FYE peer mentor program.
Thank you.